Oh, man. See, messing with people up in here, right? And stuff not working and stuff. Man, because I had some good fights going on there. I had some learning just now, man. Let me get well, wait, no, I need to stop. What have I gone in here for? I got 27 XP. No, I gotta go out to the hangar. I ain't got no combat limit point. War shock. Okay, so I said my combat point limit is overload. I need to wait. What is Demon Ex Machina? Is it good? Oh, nobody even knows. It's showing it might not be. What is next best to this while I wait for combat limit point? Ain't nobody paying me no mind. There's 300 people on this thing. They all in battle. Oh, War Shock is not a game. It's calling somebody. Oh, man. Chill zombie in a battle. Zero of zero. Nothing up in here. What am I going to play? My goodness. I mean, my basic Sansar things won't build. It goes to server disconnect. Well, I'm putting it down. I got to wait. All right, so in this circumstantial evidence, I'm gonna go over here. Oh. No, okay, my processes are finished. Let's see. 655K, I need to send out some farmlands. Why would you get farmlands? Hold on. Capture resource locations. Capture. Dort ist mein Ruheplatz. Nicht so viel, wo die mehreren Gränen gefinstert dort in mein Schatz. Wo Lebenswerk in meinen Maschinen. Dort ist mein Platz. And I'm plotting. Show you. Um, maybe I like one thing I like about Chomsky is when he's looking at this Lacanian stuff, it's like this is bullshit. But then he'll say, "Well, maybe I'm schizophrenic, hallucinatory." But no, he doesn't say it like I say it. He says, maybe I'm just different in some kind of way where I just cannot get anything out of this. And maybe it's true. Maybe he cannot. It's just so far afield of his life experience that yeah, it's worrying. It looks something like bad. What is this? It looks dumb or doesn't make any sense or what is the use of it? And I think it's an example of a very. I see him as having a very open mind. Noam Chomsky, he's got a very, very open mind that's very broad and stuff like that. So it's very interesting to see him close down. No, that's you guys, man. Lacanian, Zizek, man. He says something like, um, I think my impression there was a big brouhaha between Zizek and Chomsky, and Chomsky was mad because this is the way I heard it. Or he thought what he said was real bad. Well, what did he say? He said, well, when that these people, it will be they're going to benefit if Donald Trump is elected because he's going to ruin us. It will, and Zizek, theoretically, that's why I was left wing and right wing. That's just bullshit, mystification, man. You don't know what people are, and people in different circumstances are different people, 100%, right? And left and right is bullshit because everybody's screaming, at the left, it's like Zizek and Chomsky, they totally different things, man, in different worlds, them two. And it's like they're a bunch of Jewish communists, you know. Chomsky's, no. A lot of Jewish people would say he's not Jewish because he's an atheist or whatever. Like, he's an ethnic Jew or something. German Nazis would say he's Jewish because he's got Jew blood. Spanish people would say that because they're taught to hate. But the left-right thing, it doesn't make sense in that context. Well, what did Chomsky say? What did Zizek say again? The big thing that he said was, man, these people, they're so messed up. They want Donald Trump could get elected. They need to have him elected and see what he is going to do to them. But the thing that's wrong with that is like, and I can see, if you see Zizek outside of his interview scenarios when fans might come up, he's like, he doesn't like people because he's had a bad experience or impression in his life largely, I think, and that reduces him, and the way that he engages with big audiences. That he's a different person, has had a very complex and different life. He's got a lot to say. But I love them both. They're human beings, God's children. But Chomsky's mad. That's very bad to say that. That we should get Donald Trump elected to punish us. And I wanted to make the connection to the statement, I think, of John Milton. They that have put out the eyes of the people reproach them of their blindness. So Chomsky, as somebody I would think, he probably feels like that. he's aware of that way of thinking, and maybe it strikes more of a chord for him. And Zizek is like, man, people, sadistic killers, evil. Ooh, and just because you have been shielded from them, it's like it's the difference between talking it out with the kid and the spare the rod, spoil the child attitude. There are both those attitudes that are there, and sometimes, yeah, that's the only way that it's going to happen. Any teaching, and I see at least some people that, yeah, when they're going to prison, and it's like, man, what is all this QAnon shit, man? Look in a magazine, Trump is a pedophile conspiracy. He is pedophile conspiracy, man. He's been in charges of raping baby girls and stuff, and got out because he got a lot of money of it. And you saying he's trying to save you from pedophile? Man, he is pedophile. His name is pedophile and rapist, right? You believe that? QAnon? And okay, it's come to this point, and this is what it's like for them. They had nothing but that QAnon and wouldn't listen to anything else, read a book or anything, anything. Even his own family was telling you shit he did, and all the women assaulted by him was telling you, look, I'm telling you, it's the truth, man. He did this. And he's got millions of dollars to get character assassination and character assassination and character assassination one after the other, like Mecha Godzilla, Mecharena, that got $1 million up in there and buy everything, every weapon and mech, and also hire people to be cannon fodder for him in Mecharena. Think of it that way. But you're not going to be playing Mecharena because you're going to prison, because you believe that you were trying to do something good up in here. And you're a damn felony criminal fool and a menace to society. And our whole government, I mean, it's a lot of, it was set up to kind of try to hold things together really for the rich people who saw all the riches they was getting by killing everybody. That's what this country is, right? And that, you can shore that up, but it's not stable. As demonstrated by, here come a guy with money, I almost knocked it down. And you was helping him. And because you're against pedophile, and you do not even know that he's a pedophile, he was human trafficking, man. His model agency and stuff, they got all these little girls in there, underage, living in a garbage can, thinking they're going to be rich. And some of them had to do, trying to get ahead what they do. I mean, you go out there and you see on the internet what a lot of girls do to get by, and they learn to live with things that people want of them to survive. What about the ones that cannot live having to do that service? Donald Trump with his mushroom ass nasty, right? And if he is in power, man, he would have so many. He clear out your kindergartens and put them in the basement of the White House and the bunker down there and breed them together. That's the kind of person he is, man. I mean, I don't want to be hard on the man, but it's evidence that he's like that, because he set up a modeling agency, and it's, man, more than 20 rape accusations on him, and little girls writing about what happened to them. And women coming forward, and he's with these Pleasure Island massage guys on film, and he's human trafficking, man. And you QAnon, you going to jail. I'm sorry, I believed QAnon. Yeah, you're damn right, you're sorry. Sorry as hell. Tell the entire damn planet something they don't know. Look. And I'm sorry I'm on a dark topic, but my combat limit points is out. And I need to take a break and talk about something. So I'm going to talk on my stream about famous dumb people. And Donald Trump is one. Because he's dumb because he gets mad all the time. And so brain damage, right? All right, now look. This is one aspect of a complex story. People looking around going, man, this Donald Trump is this like, yeah, I'm like that too. I'm like, and somebody in your family, like you're trying to be like Donald Trump and you're doing all this, and your family is going, man, you're not yourself. Because I know you in a different way. I grew up with you, and something is different about you when you're like, yeah, man, I would tell you, you think that I don't know nothing. You looking at me and the way I talk, and I'm wear a hoodie and stuff, and you think I don't know nothing. Well, man, you know if you're standing up there and you believe nobody, you know it's dumb. You believe QAnon is real. That's a baseline thing. That's step one. Because if you're going to be a little bit smarter when you're thinking about how not to be so dumb in prison for 6 years because you almost wrecked the whole damn country and ruined everything for everybody and made shit worse trying to do something that wasn't even real, right? You need to think about a minute about when you're screaming on the radio and stuff. They want you to be dumb. Boy, get that tinfoil off your head. They can kill you anytime they want to when they got enough money to do it. Right? I'm trying to help you. You go ahead and think I'm stupid. But look, when you pissed off, you cannot do as well. You can do very well, and you can be among the best, but not for you. You're going to be dumb. Right? And why? Well, when you get pissed off and your heart rate goes up and your and stuff like that, it's in evolutionary developmentalism, right? Over time, and you may not believe this, but science has got me some empirical evidence in front of me. Do you even know what empirical is? It means stuff that you see all the time in front of your eyes. That's what empirical evidence that I see of Donald Trump stupid and angry. I see a lot of observation of that. And a guy that rushed into a bank and blow people in the head and steal a bunch of money and gets away with it, he did get that money and get rich and can do something with it. And maybe if that's the only time he ever does something like that, he, from then on, but probably he's going to do it again because he's angry and his heart's beating and he's not good judgment because his evolution is activating part of the brain, the adrenal complex, and adrenaline is going into the system. And that's to help you in a desperate fight situation to survive, right? And it starves your prefrontal cortex, your cognitive brain, where you figure out and solve how to do stuff the right way. It starves it of oxygen, like your strangulation on your own damn brain, squeezing it like a sponge, the blood out of it. The smart part. And if you keep doing that, it's like you going in and, like the Joker robbing a bank and stuff, and you getting ahead. Did you notice the Joker, like, if you look at the Heath Ledger, and I'm so sorry Heath Ledger died, man. I really like him as an actor and stuff. He moved me in his performances and stuff. But he took Joker to a different level. Because, man, when I was sitting there looking at that story, it's like, man, the Joker is getting rid, and the stuff he's doing, he's doing more people in than the Batman. The Batman, by stopping the Joker, a lot of worse are getting away. It's a big question. It's thought provoking, right? And what does the Joker say? Haven't you ever heard of the healing power of laughter? Right? But this is a man that had been brain damaged his whole life, maybe insane in the very beginning. Right? Up to a point where he met his match, where Batman was going to make him die. Right? And he had the chance of a wake-up call when he was dropped in the chemical and shot through his mouth where he was grinning all the time forever. Right? And he's still psycho and stuff like that. But he's laughing now and very happy. and very successful in his endeavors. You should learn from that. Yeah. If you're angry and stuff, Donald Trump is a dumbass, man, and ugly and fat and nasty, and already got, his wife. He's trying to get all the surgeries and longevities, and so he got to dump. He want to have his girls looking like those horny magazines that this for a long time. See, a person like Trump, and this is just hypothesizing about a speculation about a hypothesis, is that he, when he was just running around the house, he couldn't get any action, but he could get girly magazines and play with himself and stuff. And so he did not develop any humanity about a human physical relationship. And so he knows, oh, I'm getting ready to get up and married in here. It's going to cost me when I have to divorce, when she gets all ugly and she has a couple of kids and stuff like that. She's going to be so dang ugly, and I can't, because his development of his sexual identity is just masturbatory, right? He's got a thing for young girls underage, right? It's a strategic thing. It's like, well, if I'm a millionaire to try to get some, the only reason I need a lot of money is so women that would not complain that I'm so ugly. They still will, man. You can give, man, if you're disgusting, a revolting, disgusting, annoying human being like that, like in the way that Donald Trump is, or many people say that about you, sir. I'm sorry. Thousands upon millions across the worldwide. Can you imagine that you're so dumb and annoying, so incredible to so many millions of people that people would forget George Bush Sr.? It takes some serious dumb and to forget the stupidity of the Great Recession, Iraq War, and that was the biggest, dumbest ass. The whole human civilization is damaged. That's a damn Garden of Eden in Iraq. Tigris and Euphrates. Everybody Catholic in Italy is actually reads the Bible, and a lot don't. Don't know anything about it. Would know you do not want to bomb and saturation bomb Babylon. That's the history of the Bible. It's buried down in there, and the writings and stuff underground, and the ossuaries and the Genesis and stuff, the manuscripts, and that is serious dumb, man. You realize how priceless that is. If you're trying to get rich in the oil, and it's like they're telling you, man, if you break it, you talk about stupid. Here you go, a guy, George Bush. He got people handing him oil money to be in the oil business, and he cannot do it, or even see he can't make that. His offspring is probably not going to even be able to survive the end of their life if this oil keeps burning up. And you could save Iraq and pay, instead of burning off, bankrupting repeatedly Saudi Arabian money, you could have preserved peace in the Middle East and dug up the priceless archaeological heritage of treasures. And do you realize how much money you could have had from that? That stuff is priceless, man. Whole nations would pay millions upon millions to preserve it. And you're like, I can't. My company is failing because somebody got more oil than me and they can sell it cheaper, and that's going to cause my company to fail. And I cannot beat them. I cannot beat Iraq. I can pretend like I can, but I cannot. And so, but what I can do is bomb the oil or trick them into bombing their own oil, and then my oil will get costly and my business will work, and my friends that drill oil and go in bankruptcy because somebody that's not good Macarena tactics and strategy and fair play. And that's what you did, man. It shows you a video game brain, man. You're not in touch with reality, man, how to really make money. You could have made money with the rack, but I mean, it's just steady mess up, and people dumber and dumber and dumber, and their offspring is getting dumber and dumber and dumber. I mean, I think we had, what was it? And correct me if I'm wrong. What's that? President Kennedy was involved in getting Iraq in the Ba'ath government of Saddam anyway. That they was trying to get that government in. I thought. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. But then when they got their government in, they was too uppity, so they needed to put some bloody dictator on there. So they was involved in overthrowing the Ba'ath government and putting Saddam Hussein in power. He was working for them. And then they gave him a lot of weapons because he was supposed to have a job to bust up Iran, and he could not even do that. And then they want to write him off and stuff. And it's just dumb after dumb after dumb. And and Reagan, man, he not no presidential. You look at me and go, look at this guy, ghetto hoodie, and the way he talked. Man, people are not dumb if they're dumb if they're all angry and screaming and robbing. That's not smart. Robbing the country and stuff like that. It's like Donald Trump repeatedly in his life, he climbed way up a tree and sit on a branch and go, this damn branch is in my way. And he straight cut it off and drop his ass down and somebody had to throw him a parachute. And they do. Because you can get rich by being a cheater. You can do it. It's a way of doing it. And dumb and angry people get rich that way. That's how you look around. Maybe, and me, I get complaints because I'm not rich. I would rather, I'm scared of that, because you see some people like, I read articles and stuff of Bill Gates talking back in the early days of his business, and he seemed real smart, like somebody you want to be very successful. But when he did get so much money, it does seem like he changed. Because if there's a disconnect here. If you get so much money in the world where you really can solve things and they ain't solving, man, you messed up some kind of way in your mind. Not as smart. What you're doing, we were admiring you that, and I used to admire him and like, I don't even know what he is anymore. And so, yeah, I struggle with this. I got pressure. My family want me to make more money and stuff. But I don't want to be out there pissed off and angry, and because I know you get dumb. And why? Because what I said. It activates adrenaline. Your heart rate goes up. Your blood pressure gets high. Your life shortened down. It do, right? But also, after the adrenaline rush, you got cortisol, and it's not good for prefrontal cortex. First of all, it just demands the blood circulation to operate the adrenal system. It demands that, right? You need to chill out and not be angry and mad. I'm really, yeah. I'm trying to. I am authentically being me. I'm sorry about talking politics, but I feel sorry. I do genuinely feel sorry for you when you are dumb to the point that you're imitating and behaving like Donald Trump. Man, this guy has his name is bankruptcy and very stupid. And you're like, well, I believe it was something good, this QAnon. You out of it, man, if you don't know Donald Trump. I mean, that was why a lot of people and other people on the other side hated him from the beginning. They were wrong, too, to get angry and losing their minds. Keith, I was friends with this guy, and he is gay and stuff, but he was a wise man and stuff. But he was so upset about Donald Trump that he got dumber and dumber. I felt when I said, when he was so mad and flaming, he would run down Facebook and try to find every single individual, thousands of people, and flame them, because don't you realize the danger to a gay? That's kind of self-centered, because only about 15% of people are gay. It's not good rhetoric, because you should just find far right Trump supporting gay people and work on them if you're going to take that approach to be effective. Actually, you were worse than ineffective. And eventually, Keith, when the election happened and Donald Trump was elected and he was struggling out there, and I had told him, he knew me. I would tell him to calm down. You're chopping, but the chips ain't flying, and things like that. He was changing into a different person and dumber, strategic, not right. You like working for the man when you get in a fight, right? And if you watch my stream before, I talk about liberals and conservatives and Julius Caesar's day, and how Julius Caesar was a liberal, right, and got to power on that angle. But man, they so assassinated him. Everybody put that knife up in his behind, quick, right? But the general Sulla, and take my word for it, he could not get his troops. It's like the liberals were fighting with the conservatives, and they're like, we need reform, we need some money, we're having to go to war too much, and the soldier and y'all bankrupted us because you repossess our farms, and we got to rebuild our farms up. They lay fallow. You rich, you ain't got people, and we're bringing back slaves, and you're just taking slaves and running the farms with the slaves, and we are going to die. Right, so the liberals were like, the poor people need to get some help up in here, and the optimares, they were like, nothing's wrong, man. Everything's working great in this system because we on top. It would be very bad if we fell down where you at, and we're scared. We don't want to do it. We're gonna struggle, and they literally are killing each other. That's dumb. So the general Sulla, he could not get his troops in there to bring back order, and all the conservatives are like, oh, general, they're up there trying to, can we even a circle jerk with you? And he's not a circle jerk, buddy. So what happened is he said, oh, is that what you think? Okay, so what I need you to do, I'm coming, I'm going to get my troops up there to deal with these liberals and the unwashed and the poor and all their radicalisms. I'm coming, man. I'm going to be there as quick as I can get there. But I need you to take them out, man. You just go back up into the city and fight with all you got and kill every poor person and every liberal. And they was called populares, the populars, right? Because everybody was with them, and it was a lot of them, and they was trying to struggle to get by. And the conservatives there was much fewer of them, so they was terrified. These people want to make change and stuff. Ooh, and look at how they is, man. Could I drop down in there? So they fought like hell. They went back to the best of our knowledge in the history books. They went back and slaughtered as many of them as they could. And then the Roman legions arrived under Sulla, and he marches in. And all of a sudden, all the conservatives that survived, it's like the soldiers are like, you will now enter the arena and stabbing you if you don't, right? So they force all the liberals left and all the conservatives left into the circus because they're clowns. They end something that's not part of Sulla's business. And that's just the kind of person he was. He was like, what? In his observation, he's a general over Roman legion conducting wars and stuff for his empire and for his coins, right? And he got to stop his business and come back home. He's supposed to be fighting barbarians, right? He's got to come back home because the government that's there can't even stay. It's going to disintegrate, right? The conservative government, right? And Julius Caesar, they were scared of Julius Caesar for the same reason, man. Well, Julius Caesar was also a general. He's the cross the Rubicon general, right? Right? So they was worried about it, and they killed as many of the poor people. And then But think of Sulla's position. He's just trying to get his coins, right? And he need a lot. It's a dangerous place to be, a Roman general of a legion or whatever, and they turn on you, or some other legions to turn on you and stuff, or it's risky business, and you're out there, javelins flying by, whizzing by your ear and stuff, right? So what happened? Sulla entered to the Senate where all the top level conservatives were. The very richest of the creme of the creme of the crop was sitting up in there. And he surrounded all of them with soldiers, with swords and shields, spears and stuff. And he said, y'all through. And I want you to listen. Because he had given the order for all the liberals and all the conservatives that had been swept up out of the city into the circus clown arena, unarmed, to be put to death, slaughtered by hand, by knives, cut them up. It's not gun stuff, man, or gas chamber stuff, man. It's like, oh, that cut did not kill you. I got to cut you again, cut you again, and again, stab you. Man, I'll stab you 40 times and you're still wiggling. That was horrible. So think about that. This is another thing for people. I'm sorry that you're standing in front of the prison warden on TV going, I was just trying to save the little baby girls. But man, it just is proof to you now that you so far out of it. This guy, he's put out this word, this QAnon word, telling you what he is. He has been in human trafficking and raping underage women and girls and stuff. So this QAnon monster that he has built himself, that's your graven image, your golden calf, or whatever. It's a false God that has been created, right? And like, if you ever read the book of Samuel, what the prophet said about when the Israelites asked for the Messiah, they asked for a king. That what Messiah means in Hebrew is like God is gonna tell the prophet who it's gonna be, and the prophet, everybody knows, is the prophet will oil him, and once he's real oily, then he's oily. That's what Mashiach means. And he's going to be a king. Now, if you bother to ever read Samuel, the prophet was he ready to die when they said they wanted a king. They're not supposed to do that. They got out of bondage. And if you ever bother to read Samuel, God supposedly tells the prophet, it's like, give them their king, because they asking for it. I knew they would. But he going to mess them up. And then they're going to scream for help. But in that day, I'm not going to help them, because I'm trying to teach them not to be running after a Messiah. Because it's just a dude, man. And putting him in that position is going to mess him up. And my thing is like, did that really happen like that? All right, here's the thing. Well, no, I'm not going to go there right now. I'm going to bring on an intermission, my acknowledgement of my situation. All right. Yeah. I checking my Macarena. The Macarena. My combat limit point. I'm going to change rooms in a minute. What is this? Click on The Bible is serious business, man. That stuff, it's a lot, of mistakes and wrong stuff, but it's all we got passed down. And you don't even know, can't even understand it. I don't even know it's translated wrong and stuff. I know it's different. Let's try this. Oh, it looks like my division went up a little bit. Okay, let me get back out of Macarena. My combat limit points. I'm trying to develop. I'm studious here. Let me back in and give me my points and coins. I don't have money. All right, let's see what happened. See, and this thing on my show, I'm trying to show hyperactivity personality disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, early onset Alzheimer's or dementia, schizophrenia, hallucinatory, and teach about it and what it's like by just being wide open of what I want and how I am and what I want to be. This thing is sort of what is unfolding right here is like this dang Viking clans is real slow plodding, It's a totally different ball game from Macarena, right? But see, a person like me, I need both of them. I'm still not getting. I need my web page up and the tabs open, 50,000 tabs, and and my Sansar, because okay, the cow, and Sansar. I mean, that's me. That was me for years of my life. That's how every day at work. This is what you saw. Hey, that's become a part of me. It's like a real. I can't. And when it's gone, it's like part of me has died. um, and I'm not getting paid to be up in here anymore. I quit because I was like, man, I'm scared. I got a wife and kid and stuff. And this company about to fold up. You talking about? I'm sitting in here in the office. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, Patch. um, I want everybody. If you, ooh, you so mean to people, but it's hurting you, and you are not this persona of a half-naked 12-year-old that you put out on the internet, about to be run over by a train. Save me, I'm laughing about it, right? You got a serious back injury, right? You're in pain, you're on medication. I don't even know. It might be something heavy medication you're on, because you say it makes you excuse screaming and terrorizing people at work. And this is the point. See, the man's life is getting shorter, and he ain't got no game. It's only the money that gives him power. But if like rule or the highest control in your life possible and destiny involves destroying your prefrontal cortex because you're enraged all the time and you're eating fast food and you got a diabetes and glucose imbalance and lactose intolerance, and you're getting you think you can't play Macarena now and you just got to stay on Second Life because one hand is busy. Oh, you did not say that. Man, I wasn't born yesterday. We know what y'all do. Cause I do it too. Peekaboo. I can see you. Yeah, man. People been doing that for. Cause if they can't get it the way they need to be getting it, cause they're mad and it's making them dumb and shortening their life, right? So I'm not, and this is the thing I've been faced with as a teacher, right? As a teacher can get out of touch with the reality of everyday life of the student. And if you are so far, far gone, and like what's a business? If you so unaware of your customers and what their life even is, you have no idea and don't care to know. And like to think of it as very terrible and that you might have a chance to make it worse for them. That's a possibility. Some people like that. And here's an example. As I had mentioned on the show before, they were studying people's general feeling of well-being, and somebody came up with the idea. He said, "Well, there's some people that have big long-term stuff that they put a lot of importance about one thing, one milestone or goal in their life, and they will tell you it's everything to them, and it is." But is that going to be, if you get that thing you're working so hard to get, is that really going to make you a happier or a sadder person if you're already very depressed and you think it's going to make you happy to get a PhD? This was what they did. They said, let's go and study a bunch of PhD candidates for tenure and stuff like that. And they would come up and tell you, man, if I don't, they'd be depressed, and I was, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm staying with it. They're fighting it out to the bitter end, and then they finally get it. They do feel better, and they have a party and everything like that. But after the long term of the study, I found out that they right back depressed where they were. And another side of this coin is like, say you want to be, and I sort of see this as a problem, possibly an element of issues faced by some game companies, because I've worked for some. That's some of the folks at home well familiar with that. That say you get into gaming. I got into gaming because I was trying to get real coins so I could eat. Because I was working with computers and I was trying to find a job that I enjoyed, and developing computer games. It was almost accidental that I started doing that. And I'm not that good at it. I'm not, no. I was a baseline with Virtuals. What is it? What was it? Unity 3D had just come out when I did most of my game development that I have done. And that, all that I learned in Virtuals, it's no longer sold or supported, so the company, just sends you a letter one day. You're developing all on this platform, right? And they can send you a letter. Your brain has been discontinued. And it's not licensed. You don't have a license to drive your brain. And it's no longer sold or supported. If we can, we're going to see if we can continue to make it worse. Right, because we want you to buy something else, right? That could be a factor at a game development company. That, I mean, when you're so low on the chain with your game, that just any 5-year-old kid can go, where's all the people? And look on Wikipedia and see it's millions of people a day in Minecraft, and millions of people a day in Roblox, and man, they're up in there. Now, you think the Roblox leadership, it would be impossible in a mech arena style for them to put the proton photon on your little software company? Deliberately, like, go to somebody in your company and say, look, how much you getting? Oh, man, they're paying so low. And they did, man. They paid me, Linden Lab paid me starvation wages. And literally, we're opening in Georgia so they could do that, not pay people. But they said to themselves, well, they're dumb, we'll feed them a lot of fast food, right? As much as they want. And let them, play up on Rocket League all day. Doing Sansar and the, even the supervisor of Patch, I don't know who that is, but I'm sure people know my story about disappointment in you, Patch. Cause man, every day I was looking at people. I've got kidney failure. I've got, I'm paralyzed. I'm a Iraq War veteran. I'm up in here because I think it's really cool and that I'm gonna make money, but the shit don't work. And this is why. And you're trying to block me from telling the engineers. And the engineers know you and don't want anybody that has anything to do with you anywhere near them. They cannot work with a impossible situation, right? It's understandable. They didn't know that I. And also, it could be an element with them, the engineers, of like, why should I care when I got somebody that's writing my paycheck? I want to, and somebody says that somebody in a wheelchair crying out for help. Man, I ain't got time for that. I need the boss to tell me, the guy that's running things, this is a broad customer issue. Do I help this guy sitting up here in a wheelchair because his stuff don't work on my platform so he can make his coins? If you take the decision, absolutely not. And actually, people would know that it's kind of a troublemaker for helping too much or something. And they was looking askance at it. And it's like, really, in the long term, to me, I would never know what's in your mind, Patch. I know that. I don't know what's in Derek's mind. I do not know. I know you getting sick and you getting fat and you're not happy and you got a lot of money, huge amount of money, and you getting a a mail order bride boyfriend that's 3 feet shorter than you, because that tells me you ain't getting it here when you got to get it overseas. What is it that you want? And this is the thing about the study. They found that if people was messed up in their minds and they thought, if I do this one thing, then my mind will not be messed up. Well, they do feel better when they hit that milestone, but then after that, they could be even worse. Right? I mean, you could think about that. Hitler may have changed into a different person. He may have still had something left until he got his goal and he realized it's still shit. And I'm still in here with me, unhappy and miserable. And then now, at least, since I've been going along, having people make me miserable, I have very learned how to make people suffer and die. And that's a thing that I know, and I'll just satisfy myself by doing that for the rest of the time. You think that's going to make your company grow if you're doing that? Maybe. If you got some. And my point, again, I know I'm hyperactive. I'm trying to demonstrate stream of consciousness, kind of a stream of consciousness mind, because I do know in my mind that there are things that I know and things that I don't know. I don't just decide, oh, he said something and therefore I know what he thinks. I absolutely do not. And the first step is I'm aware of that. I don't know what's in your mind, Patch. I'm sorry. I cannot do that. Maybe you're trying to convey it to me. But you told me when you hired me you want your company to be a success, but your attitude doesn't seem like, it seems like you're doing harmful stuff. How is, not even being at work in leadership, and I would say this, Patch's boss, do you really not know that technical support for the entire product was shut down repeatedly by Patch to convene meetings to look at videos where he's been sitting in there watching everybody on the security video until he can find something to humiliate with them with? And that's where it's like, and not only that, we shut down operations to have a meeting about how filthy you are because a guy picked a big booger out of his nose and I ate it. I've done that. I've been a kid and stuff. People yelling at me, don't pick your nose, or ridiculing me, never stopped me from picking my nose and eating it. It never had any effect on. It's somebody, I pick my nose less and eat it as an adult. I'll tell you why. Because if people see you do it, they've been so persecuted by that you drop down a rank in their eyes, right? And it's painful to them if they have a certain idea. It's like a death in their family. If they think it's such a major thing for somebody to pick a booger out of their nose and eat it, I have hurt them by doing that and getting caught doing it in front of them, especially like on film. Like when you see Donald Trump up there with this, man, he had his finger so far up his nose, he is tickling his shrunken brain drained hole up in there. Man, that guy picks his nose. And what does he do with it? As hungry as he is for fast food, a fast food special sauce of McDonald's, it tastes the same as a damn booger taste. Too much salt. And, mayonnaise. It's nasty. So, and also people saying it's, and this I'm not entirely, I thought about it. I was like, why do a lot of people, whenever it's privacy, cut loose a big fart and eat a booger out their nose? Why? Because a lot of people say they don't, but they do. Here's Donald Trump. If he was on an interview and they said, how did that booger taste? He would be like, fake news. Right? Because he's humiliation, right? His name is humiliation, right? So my point is, and what it's about to happen is many things. one of the reasons why I'm not sitting here right now eating boogers out of my nose is because I'm experienced enough to know that it's a debate if that is good for your health. That's unresolved, and also it weighs on people in their mind. So if you want to care about other people with genuinely, and there's a social norm, you do want to avoid the violation of it, but it's like it's not going to be death if somebody finds somewhere a picture of me and sometimes in my life of picking a booger. I don't care whatsoever. And I wish I could teach a leader of a video game company that it's so unimportant. But what is important is the service that's being provided to thousands of people that may not have told you that they're a cripple because it's humiliation for them and they're on your platform and they're a secret cripple or they have a problem they can't go out of the house, like Francis on his Pokemon Go. He's got to make his sister drive him, and she cannot because Francis done been up in there on Pokemon Go and drained her entire car. She ain't got any gasoline, can't even drive him to play Pokemon Go. And all he can do is F to M F and start cussing. You can't. Francis is like a big kid with his sister up in the house and their parents not there. That's like America, a lot of it. Uh, there's some social norms that say you have to take care of these kids, but the messed up thing it started out with is escalating down a cliff until Francis, he's really so fat he cannot get up. And it's suggested, and he cussing his sister, you're the one taught me that I need to go play Pokemon Go, so why aren't you paying for it? Right? What is wrong with you? And she's like, you drain my whole, I cannot do this. My bank card, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go, briefly, I'll be back. My combat point, I'm not back in the game, but my combat point is 0. I got a combat point limit on it. I've got to pause for Oh, I'm in another world now. Hold on. Changing gears. Um, now I got a lot to get on my mind. I'm trying to get across to the man. I need my recommendation letter to get in my college application situation thing of what it is for me to be in school. I want to take my baby down to the college and make sure she down by there so she can get her learning and get her coins. Oh, I'm remiss. What is this action over here? Man, this thing over here, this platform. Oh, I think it's one of those things I gotta have my castle up in the stratosphere before I can have this. What is it? Lord help, I got the lag on with things. Ooh, I got 56 combat point limits. Back. Okay. You got to have at least a level 18. So I got 3 levels on my palace. Can I build it? Um, I got to have a wall level 15 and a forge level 15. Just to get up in here and get the ball rolling as it was. Mm. Oh, man, I want to go up here in the chat room. Hold on. Oh, free stuff popping. Does it give me coins? Free coins? Why did I even end up in here? Figure this thing out. This guy's trying. It's like, what kind of fool are you? Custom match. Required division 5. Okay. Like a corn plant. Think about being a corn plant. All your children eat up people's mouth and shed out all over the world. Oh, and see, oh man, I had messed up. But this is a live and learn situation. I was like thinking this whole time, my dang game capture, you can see it, and you can't. Game capture on. Is that one off? Vikings on. Window capture. Let's turn that off. No, I hit change room. I did not want to do that. Oh, it's a Chinese room. Your name is goddamn Bloodlust? GD Bloodlust? Damn that Bloodlust. Let's see. What is the green button doing? It's not. I can't click it. And then I hit battle. I can't even click that. What's wrong with this thing? Invite friends. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I can. I am messed up in here and the stuff ain't working. This is terrible. This stream is a complete disaster. Get out of here. Hide your ass. Come on. That's Macarena. Wait. And now my stuff is gone. Wait a minute. Oh my lord, what next? Game capture. Game capture. That's got to come back on. Vikings. That hid that. How come I cannot see every damn thing? Man. Oh, it's a screen capture. That's what it is. Invite a friend. I'm learning. I'm up in this educational forum in here, and people But they could be tricking me and saying, oh, yeah, you need to buy this. No, this guy's like, oh, yeah, you bought that? That's useless. Man, that thing don't work. Well, I'm glad I was on the right track. And this is demonstrated by that it was confirmed that this little baby right here with a javelin lance is yeah. I need to put my duckies. Can I upgrade your ass? Insufficient coins. And then if I go upgrading the weapon, is it gonna make it? See, I hesitate to upgrade. I don't know, man. See, what happened with this before is I was just learning how to use it, and then I was like, I upgraded it a bunch. I was like, this is my baby now. And then I couldn't use it but one of them with it because it's a bigger rank, I think, than my vehicle. So it's already outsized. Let me look at this other weapon, see if I could, if I should be maybe putting coins that I currently have on here. Let's open it up. All right, fire rate, frequency of fire per minute, excluding magazine, number of rounds on fire before the weapon needs to be reloaded, reload speed, measurement showing how fast the weapon can be reloaded, optimal range, distance at which the most damage can be done to enemy mechs, maximum distance at which damage can be dealt, projectile speed, measurement of the times it takes for the weapon's projectiles to reach their target, hit cone, measurement of the weapon's shot dispersion. Lower this number, the tighter the cone, and the lower the dispersion at long range. Measurement of a mech or a weapon's strength, power, based on various parameters such as their stats, abilities, perks, and more. Hit cone, measurement of the weapon's shot dispersion. The lower this number, the tighter the cone, and the lower the dispersion at long range. Hit cone. That's not interesting. Okay, blueprints. Blueprints are an essential resource for making... Oh, that's what those little cards are. I did not know. You see, I'm up in here having a good time, even though I got my butt smacked down so many times, right? Because I'm learning things. How to win, or how at least be able to enjoy the fireworks of colorful, sparkly weapons blasting me to smithereens before I'm dead. All right. Blueprints are an essential resource for making your mechs and weapons more powerful. They're used to increase their level, which allows you to increase their rank. Rank indicates the strength of a mech or weapon. Each rank has 7 levels, and upgrading through each level and rank increases your stats. That's your numbers go up, right? Like when Bridget Bardot gets a 10 or something, or whoever she man, they passed away, man. I'm showing my age here. Oh, upgrading a mech's rank also increases its energy capacity. Once you've maxed out your stats, your rank stars turn purple. Equip limit indicates how many of this weapon can be equipped on your mechs at any one time. Increasing a weapon's rank may increase this limit. But we're not telling you here because we want you to study. The maximum weapon damage dealt at the ideal range. Maximum weapon damage for each round fired. Fire rate, frequency of fire per minute, excluding reloading time. Number of rounds of fire before the weapon needs to be reloaded. Reload speed, measurement showing how fast the weapon can be reloaded. Optimal range, distance at which the damage can be done to enemy mechs. Max range, maximum distance at which damage can be dealt. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I got to be a role model for my daughter because she's a big fan of y'all gamers and stuff, and she crying because she can't survive with y'all and all your duckies and coins you got. So I have to learn so I can teach her.
We're losing the lead.
Oh man, and I am not even. What is this lagging? All right, now I've got it this thing when I'm supposed to hit on here. I'm trying to do it. The F. Oh, and we got somebody. It's Stoteworthy, and you on my team. See how things change? Gotta get out the open. Trying to use this javelin. I'm pretty good at that. Well, I mean, I got a hats off to me. Alright. F. Okay, so I'm tracking you. Now. Oh, assist. Thank you. Okay. Alright. Oh, where is somebody? Are they coming up here to get me? They know I'm hiding up here if you come. Oh, whoa! See, he knows I'm back here now. But now he got something on his mind. Oh, he's trying to get where he can shoot me. And stop. Alright, let's meet. Okay, you and me. You just rolled my rocket. Well, not. Since you put it that way. Okay, I'm jumping in the middle of right now. Okay, you shooting at me. I'll get ready.